This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, today's agenda kind of trying to get some of the opens the team has. And let us quickly do a review of the Global Summit presentations. And also let's start having a discussion on the roadmap, what we want to see. Any opens from the team that you want to discuss? So let me, if you don't have opens, let us switch over to the Global Summit. So we have 9 presentations and 1 panel scheduled. Let me quickly flash the agenda here. So we are starting on 18th. We are starting on 12:30, and we have the agenda till like 5 o'clock. And want to make sure that all of you take a look at it and make sure that you don't have any conflict or anything need to be moved around. Also, the titles or abstracts that needs any smaller modification, we are not, I think OSP requested we don't want to have a complete content change, but if any minor modification need to be done, they want to make sure that it gets captured. What we are going through is until September 11th, we will do the reviews. Once the reviews are done, comments will be updated to the portal, and you will get a notification on the comments. And one switching we made, we moved the, I think it was, it was live for at least a couple of weeks now. We switched the panel to the end of the conference for the OSF rather than in the middle. So we switched these two topics timing. And I also had a conflict at the time with the FDI. And we will get a couple more people added to the panel for the discussion. Any questions, comment from the team? Yeah, I just want to make sure that all of you have a chance, even if you have not joined here, right? I want to make sure that these things are reviewed, and if anything need to be changed, we need to get a notification early so that we can address it. Then switching to the roadmap discussion, I think this has been a request for a while from this group that we need to finalize on the roadmap. In fact, I was kind of looking at the OSF goals. If I go back here, right? In the scope, we are saying we want to look at the processor architecture side, and how are we going to be able to do a web scale to the data center, basically supporting data centers, right? And also the operating systems, what we want to support, as well as add-on devices to the system, and any tools and security features that we want to comprehend as part of the scope. When we are saying is OSF ready system, we want to make sure that these things are clearly spelled out. We do have some gaps that we need to really go back and address it. But with that, I'm kind of looking at how do we kind of split these things to a OSF level, right? We need to finalize on what are the different bootloaders we want to support and what are the payloads. So we need to close on those architectures. What I want to see from this team is any opinion or discussion, or anybody wants to bring in anything on the bootloader or payload side. If you want to have any proposals, we would like to see that.
Yes, I mean, I think we can bring something from the universal payload side. Um, I think that's a good topic to bring here.
Yes, that is, I think, really need to close on it, right? I know I see there's a presentation from Vincent on a
Mhm.
universal payload,
Mhm.
a EFI payload. I think what we want to do is one is two things, right? Architecture side, are we ready? Second thing is when we are saying OSF ready, what are we really confirming there, right?
Right.
Again, I think there is a core boot, Linux boot. People are asking Slim boot and EFI payload and what are the different payloads we want to support it from OSF, right? Architecture may support more, but from OSF side, what we want to uh, recommend for it. Again, when we are recommending, do we have our OSS ready? Do we have toolset ready, right?
Yeah, talking about the toolset, is OSF the right forum to bring the toolset discussion? I mean, we have built the tool chain that spans Visual Studio, Clang, GCC, and things like that. Would it make sense to converge?
At least my understanding of OSF here is more server focused rather than the client focused here, right?
Mhm.
So anything server related that we want to close here, I agree with you. Is it we may need to have a complementary forums like a EFI or group and ACP or group or even any other work groups that we want to make sure that we can put some recommendation from OSF. We want to recommend it, right? We may not be at this forum solving all the problems, but we need to have a mechanism to close that gaps, right? What do you guys think? I'm looking for input here, right? How we can move forward here, right? Or is there any other active forum on the um, payload or OS side or bootloader side that we want to recommend or bring them to for a discussion here, right? Yeah, if we don't have that data now, start thinking about it, right? We want to bring the discussions back. So that what I'm kind of looking for is we want to expand this list here and spell out what need to be done for OSF ready. If it is already kind of ready to go, then we can just document that it's already available and it's good to go. Right? And also, I think next line item here, right? We know like our OSF is more focused on the in-band or boot firmware and the BIOS side of it. At the same time, there are communications between BIOS and BMC. The interface between those and what we want to provide offload to BMCs, right? I think it will be good to have a focused discussion and put some roadmap around that, right? Like there is a in-band, you have a IPMI-based thread-based, IPMI-based thread-based host interface. There is already a lot of RAS offload discussions going on with hardware fault management. But at the end of the day, what is the interface between BIOS and BMC that we want to say that OSF is supporting. So again, I'm looking for a mechanism to close here, right? There is already a project for a hardware manageability project, hardware fault management, and also we have the OSF here. In addition to that, we have OpenBMC. So we need to have some holistic view of what is that OSF want to commit here, right? Again, if you guys are in that forums, or my question is, do we want to first of all go after the BMC interface support from OSF side? If the answer is what I'm looking for is, are we saying yes? And if we are saying yes, what are the things we want to spell it out? Again, let us start thinking about it. We want to come back and revisit this topic on what is the interface supports needs. The other topic we want to spend time is a runtime firmware update. So yeah, we need to include the devices also. I think you saw in the scope. We are covering not only the BIOS, but also we are covering as part of all the devices that goes along in the system. So what it means for OSF as well as whole system, right? You have a lot of interfaces with the BMC. If you are doing a runtime firmware update for example, CXL device, is it all BMC based, or are we going to have all in-band based? And what that means for OSF, right? And any security related items for the PLDM or anything that we want to include. What is the complete end-to-end view of runtime update? As a OSF, I'm kind of looking for, we need to put some straw man and say like, here is a thing we are going to be looking for, and we need to get some alignment from OSF community on what is optional, what is required, that kind of areas that we need to close. And I know like there is a presentation scheduled by the standard-based approach for GPUs. So we still we need to look at other areas also, right? First, are we aligning on this proposal from our side, and second thing is, what are we going to be comprehending on other devices, right? Network storage and FPGAs, things like that, right? Again, we should be spending some time in the future to go one by one. And what is the position from OSF, right? If our position is that we are not able to support a standard, then let's call it out, right? We want to have some grading to say that these are visited and here is additional work need to be done. And if it is mature, let us capture any specs that is already available and document that, right? The other areas, again, we want to put some thought around here is, like we have a boot firmware, and we kind of touched on some of the runtime firmware update, but what is the functionality within the boot and the runtime need to be supported? even if you want to do a debug and root cause, what is the telemetries and other things need to come out of the firmware, right? Again, if what is that? I think one of the question I'm kind of looking is when we are saying OSF ready, what are we going to be saying? What features is going to be there, right? Is there any way to harvest what features are going to be there? And any other areas that we should be looking? I'm looking for comments from this team. Yeah, I think one of the reason I'm kind of bringing this discussion here is we have not seen many proposals recently for the OSF. I'm trying to see what are the other proposals that we should be start looking into that and start having a discussion within OSF. Or even if there are small subset of teams going to be working on it, let's know about it, right? This is a small set going to be work on it, and we'll come back with a proposal. Or we want to call it's all matured, then we don't need to spend time on it, right? And also kind of lately coming to know there is efforts going on the debug work group. If it is totally out of band, that we don't need to worry about any of the firmware support. Again, if anything need to be added for helping on the debug root cause, it'll be good to have a discussion around that topic so that we can say from firmware side, these are the set of features we will be providing so that you can able to get a better debug and root cause. Again, maybe it's can be optional if we don't want to support or we don't have that features available in the existing platforms, but it will be good if we have certain features we want to enable. Let us make that as a standard based. That way, people can comply to that standard based mechanism. Any other topics, comments? I see the team is quiet here. Yep.
Maybe Sunny,
Again,
we can look into, for example, having a standardized, at least a OS to firmware interface for like device firmware updates. Right? I think that could be a fragmented ecosystem today, and maybe it would be worth the investigation to see how we can have a standard OS-driven initiation of the firmware update for the device firmwares. Today we have a
Yes,
bunch of DSM methods, and client has this ESRT whatever mechanism. So it would be good to at least um, have, instead of a bunch of DSMs, have a standard mechanism that the OS can use to invoke firmware updates.
yeah, I think that's a good point. I think if maybe a good way to look at it is, say, if you have a DSM so that is more proprietary,
Mhm.
can we take those DSMs and make it as much more standard based?
Yeah, that is a UEFI standards based mechanism,
Right,
but I don't think we are widely deploying it.
right. And also, I think at the same time, there are people who want to use bare metal where you don't have control over the OS. In which case, if you are going to do a PMC based updates or any input, what is that standard based thing still need to be available as part of the standard firmware, right?
Right, and even if it's an in-band bare metal,
Right,
right, even
right,
even though there's no control over the OS, if it's a standard interface, we know that it's more ubiquitous, and the OS ecosystem will support a standard interface rather than a bunch of proprietary interfaces.
right. So you want to have the in-band firmware having a standard based mechanism that
Mhm.
can handshake whatever is needed, right? Okay, any others? Any other comments? Again, I'm looking for volunteers here. Anybody wants to bring in a proposal, let us know so that we can schedule that in the future meetings. Yeah, that's all mainly I had for the today's discussions to start opening up the discussion on the roadmap. I would, like I said earlier, right, let's start building this roadmap and start. I want to start putting this little more details so that we can get some alignment within the OSF on what is the different areas that we want to look and where are the gaps that needs to be addressed. And again, if we have some volunteers that will be taking on certain areas, let's start putting some names around that so that we can have some future discussion on those specific topics and kind of finalize. I'm kind of looking for we can think of next 2 or 3 years, right? What we want to accomplish out of OSF. And that I think it will be good to get some clarity. I think there are a few people who are already asking, hey, can we get some roadmap defined? Like I said, right, in the future meeting, I will start expanding this and bringing it back. And always I'm looking for an input from this community here. If no other topics for discussion, then we can close early today. Thank you, team.
Thank you.
Thanks.